Help me reach 1,000 subscribes. Support the video with a like and leave your thoughts in the comments. I read every comment. Thanks. I never thought a single afternoon could erase an entire marriage, but that's exactly what happened to mine. My name is Emily Carter, and 9 years ago, my husband walked out of my life without ever asking me one simple question: is this true? Back then, I was 32, married for 6 years to Daniel Carter. Daniel was the kind of man people trusted instantly. Calm voice, steady job in IT, always a reasonable one in any room. I loved him for that. I was more expressive, more emotional. Together, we balanced each other, or at least I believed we did. The misunderstanding started on an ordinary Tuesday. I was working late at the marketing firm where I'd just been promoted. The project deadline was brutal, and I barely checked my phone. Around 9 p.m., I finally stepped outside, exhausted, and saw 12 missed calls from Daniel. Before I could call back, a text came through: "I know everything. Don't bother explaining." My stomach dropped. I called him immediately, straight to voicemail. I drove home in silence, rehearsing explanations for a crime I didn't even know I was accused of. When I walked into the house, Daniel was sitting at the kitchen table, my phone in his hand, his face completely shut down. He didn't raise his voice. That almost hurt more. "I saw the messages," he said. "What messages?" I asked, genuinely confused. "From Ryan," he replied. "Your friend from work." Ryan was my colleague, married, older. We talked about campaigns, clients, deadlines. Nothing more. But Daniel slid my phone across the table, and there it was, a message taken completely out of context. A joke about surviving another late night. A laughing emoji. That was all it took. "Daniel, this isn't what you think," I said, my voice shaking. "Please, let me explain." "There's nothing to explain," he said quietly. "I won't stay with someone who lies to my face." I cried. I begged. I told him to call Ryan, to check emails, to talk to anyone at my office. He refused. He had already decided who I was in his head, and no version of the truth could compete with that image. He moved out 3 days later, filed for divorce 2 weeks after that. 6 years of marriage reduced to paperwork and silence. What hurt most wasn't the divorce itself. It was the way he never once asked for my side of the story. Not during mediation. Not during the signing of the papers. Not even when I looked him in the eyes for the last time and said, "You're making a mistake." The first few years after the divorce were brutal. I lost mutual friends who quietly chose sides. His family stopped speaking to me entirely. I questioned myself constantly. Maybe I should have fought harder. Maybe I should have forced him to listen. But you can't argue with someone who has already convicted you. Eventually, life moved on. I changed jobs, moved apartments, learned how to exist without waiting for an apology that would never come. I didn't remarry. I dated a little. But trust came slowly after being discarded so easily. 9 years passed like that, quietly, painfully. And then one evening, I received an email I never expected to see. Subject line, Daniel Carter. I stared at the screen for a long time before opening it. The message was short. "Emily, I don't know if you'll even read this. I just need to talk to you. Please." My heart started racing in a way it hadn't in years. I didn't reply that night, or the next, but something in his words unsettled me. This wasn't the confident man who once told me explanations were pointless. This sounded like someone unsure, maybe even desperate. 3 days later, he sent another email. "I found out something recently. I think I made the biggest mistake of my life." I closed my laptop, my hands trembling. After 9 years of silence, after everything he put me through, Daniel wanted to talk. And whatever he had discovered was clearly tearing him apart. What I didn't know yet was that the truth he'd just uncovered would change both our lives in ways neither of us had imagined. I agreed to meet Daniel a week later, in a quiet cafe halfway between our old neighborhood and my new life. When I walked in, I almost didn't recognize him. His hair was streaked with gray, his shoulders slightly hunched, like someone who'd been carrying weight far too long. He stood the moment he saw me, eyes glossy, hands shaking, "Thank you for coming," he said. "I didn't sit right away. You said you found something." He nodded and swallowed hard. 2 months ago, my sister mentioned Ryan, your coworker. She works in HR now. Different company. But the name stuck with her. I don't know why, but it bothered me. I searched him, and then I saw the old email threads. Project archives. Timestamps. Everything. My chest tightened. I realized the messages I saw were nothing, he continued. I compared dates. You weren't lying. You were working late. Every time. I waited for anger to rise. It didn't. What I felt was stranger. Emptiness. I should have listened, he said, his voice cracking. I let my pride decide for me. I was scared, so I chose certainty over truth. For 9 years, I said quietly. He nodded. I ruined us. And I ruined you. Silence stretched between us. I noticed his wedding ring was gone. He noticed I didn't wear one either. I never remarried, he said quickly, like it mattered. I tried, but nothing stuck. I kept replaying that night. Your face. The way you kept saying my name. I finally sat down. Why now, Daniel? He looked down at his hands. Because last year I found out my ex cheated on me. Actually cheated. And when she denied it, I remembered you. How easily I believed the worst about you. How wrong I was. There it was. The irony didn't sting. It simply confirmed what I'd already learned. I'm not here to ask for forgiveness, he said. I know I don't deserve it. I just needed you to know the truth didn't stay buried. I studied him for a long moment. 9 years ago, I would have given anything to hear these words. Now, they felt late but necessary. I spent years thinking I wasn't worth being heard, I said. That maybe I failed you somehow. He looked up, eyes red. You didn't fail me. I failed you. We talked for another hour. About life. About how we both changed. He apologized more times than I could count. Not once did he ask for another chance. That mattered. When we stood to leave, he hesitated. Are you happy, Emily? I thought about it honestly. I'm at peace. And that took work. He nodded slowly. I'm glad. Outside, we parted without a hug, without promises. Just a quiet understanding that some chapters exist only to teach, not to continue. As I walked to my car, I felt something shift not inside him, but inside me. The story that once defined my pain no longer owned me. Daniel divorced me over a misunderstanding without hearing my side. 9 years later, he finally listened, and by then, I no longer needed him to believe me, to know my worth.